guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna do a hair tutorial. This is how I do my hair. It has not changed much. Like, I've been doing this kind of style for quite some time. So I hope you guys all enjoyed today's video. And if you do, make sure to give it a like. It helps my videos out a ton. I love making videos for you guys. So in return, if you could just give me a like, I'd really appreciate that. And then if you are new, don't forget to subscribe. Today's video is going to be a Q&A / hair tutorial. So I'm gonna try to like weave in some of these questions that you guys have had. FYI, I did not expect it, but like I got really emotional when we were talking about certain things. So yes, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video and let's get started. So first, for products, I always go in with some type of leave-in conditioner. These are the two I love. The Aveda Damage Remedy. I've been using this for a super long time. This just kind of helps your hair if it has damage, if you put a lot of heat on it, if you dye your hair. This one is newer. Oh my gosh, so great. It's the Botanical Repair Strengthening Leave-In Treatment. This is supposed to be like a dupe for Olaplex. So it's supposed to help bonds, like bonding broken hairs. So I used to have a bunch of broken hairs from when I went really blonde. I'll put some of this in right now. And I do like that much. And this really helped to repair my hair. So I feel like the Damage Remedy is more like split ends and just overall damage, where the Botanical Repair is a little bit more like targeted and intense. Like if you have a lot of heat damage or your hair is fried, I would go with that one. It smells really good too. So I just put it all throughout my hair, kind of scrunch it in. Sometimes I use an oil here too. I like the Kerastase oil, just something like very conditioning. I put in first, and then I go in with a thickening product. So this is the Aveda Femollient. Been using this for probably 5 years. No, more than 5 years. I just scrunch this into my hair. It's so good, guys. It smells amazing, and this just gives you so much more volume in your hair, and also it has a light hold. So whatever you are doing to your hair, if you're doing like a few curls or something, it kind of helps it stay in place. Okay, so sometimes once I put my product in, I just let it sit and let my hair air dry a little bit more if I'm not wanting to blow dry it, and then I will go in and actually like style it with hot tools. And then sometimes I will go in and blow dry it now, which is what I'm gonna do. I blow dry it till it's like almost dry and let it air dry at the very end. And this is T3. I love this. Okay, I'm back from picking up the girls from preschool, so you can see it's pretty much dry. Just the underneath part of my hair is still wet. But I will say that when I do blow dry my hair, instead of completely letting it air dry, it does get way more volume and it does end up looking better. So I've been trying to blow dry it a little bit more. So let me just finish this underneath part. Straightener and my curling iron. You know, that seems like a lot, but like this is what I've done forever. So I use the T3 straightener and curling wand. Get these going. The reason is because you could just use, good grief, you could just use your curling iron, but you don't get the same like beachy texture when you don't use a straightener. So it's just a different look. And also with like shorter hair, I find that the straightener does help it a lot. It doesn't make it as poofy. Like if you just use a curling iron, it can look poofy. And the underneath part of my hair is like super curly back here. So I tend to straighten all of that. And this brush is for wet hair. It's called the Hair Edit. So I just brush through my hair And I'll like explain what I'm doing first, and then once you get the gist, I'll start going into some questions. But see, it's just kind of like not really a style. I never pin back my hair or anything. I just kind of go for it. Usually I go in with the straightener first, and I just straighten all the part underneath. I get all the waves out of this part, and then I just straighten like a little bit at the top just to smooth this out so there's no kinks. A little bit right here, like just to, and like an inch down. And then I straighten the very bottom of my hair. So basically when I'm doing my hair, I like just the middle section to be curled. The top is smooth, the bottom is straight. So I'm gonna go around and do straightener sections and dive into the questions. So I was going through these when I was driving to pick the girls up. Somebody asked why I'm growing my hair out because they saw I mentioned how much I love having a lob haircut, and I did love it. I had it short for a really long time actually, like for the majority of my life. I had long hair. I cut it into a lob before I had the girls. So I think I was like 27 when I cut it. And then I let it grow out when I was pregnant with Owen, and so it got super, super long, just kind of straightening right there. It got really long, and I was like, I need to change, so I cut it short again. But I just started to miss my hair. I don't know, I like the look of short hair. It definitely has more of a style, but I honestly need change for my hair a lot, and I think that's why I got it cut in the first place. I just need some change, so that's kind of why. So it's time for a little bit longer. Oh, and I'm straightening like right by the hairline. I don't like that to be like kinked up. Okay, so I'll go back in with the straightener at the end, but now I'm just gonna go around. I grab random chunks. There's no rhyme or reason. They're usually about this thick, but I do kind of vary the length, and I wrap away from my face. So the curl goes away from my face, and I leave about 2 inches out on top and bottom, and I hold that for a little bit, and then it should look like that. And I do not touch the curl at all until the very end, so just leave it alone. So one of the questions I got was, what has been, like, what's a word to describe this phase of life for you? And I thought that was like a really insightful question. And it took me some time to think about it, and I came up with fleeting. I just feel like this year in particular, I think maybe just since Owen was born, because since he was born, it makes you put into perspective like how old the girls are, because we always thought they were so young, and now that we have a younger baby, it makes them seem so old, you know? So I just get so sad. It's like really bittersweet. And I was thinking about how, you know, my whole life I have wanted to be a mom and have kids, and something that always kind of made me nervous, I don't know if it's nervous, but like, I don't know how to explain it, just like, I guess it makes it seem more real as when your kids are in school, because you think, okay, you're just with your babies at home, that's like totally fine, but something about them going to school made me a little nervous, because it's like unknown, and it's just not like, it's out of your control, and I'm like, how am I gonna know what to do and what to bring? And I just always want to be prepared. So it kind of made me feel like, oh my gosh, like, am I gonna know what to do? You know, I think it sounds kind of silly. Like, I just was stressing over it when they go to school. So now they're in school, right? And they had their little preschool performance a couple weeks ago. And when I saw them come onto stage, I got so emotional and I started crying. And they're just on stage singing little songs, the sweetest thing I've ever seen. But it was almost like I started thinking back to, I was having like flashbacks of thinking about one day my kids will be in school. And I was just sitting there thinking like, they are in school. Like, we are at this point in my life now where before it was always like, okay, one day they're gonna do that. One day I'll have kids, and one day they'll be potty trained, and one day they'll be you know, like, you have all these milestone type of things. And when they're actually, and like, school always seemed so far away to me. So to see them up on stage, like with the class, it was just a very surreal moment. I don't know, let me know if any of you felt like that for your kids, but they just were, you know, up there and confident, and it's like you're so proud of them for who they are and who they're becoming, but at the same time, you're like, oh my gosh, like, they're in school from here on out now. So I just feel like the word fleeting is kind of appropriate because it's like this weird limbo of wanting to teach them all these things in life, right? Like, wanting to teach them how to be responsible and how to do things and how to learn their letters and all these things, but at the same time, like, wanting them to be little still and wanting to enjoy them being little without hoping for the next phase. So yeah, it's like it's been not an emotional, I mean, it has been an emotional year, but just seeing how mature they are now and they're not little babies anymore, you know, it really has made me and Andrew super sad. So it's kind of nice that we have Owen now, because I feel like with the girls, if any of you guys have twins, I mean, those first few months are survival. Like, you are just trying to get by, and you really don't have a ton of time to like savor those sweet moments. And I truly don't remember much of it, to be honest. So with Owen, it was kind of like I could redeem myself and I could feel those things again that I never really got to feel with them. And it's also made me realize like how fast time does go. So to really just savor your time. Okay, the next question is the largest mom struggle you've overcome. Also, I'm just grabbing random chunks. I think it works better to do that instead of pinning your hair back. I think after I had Owen, I just really dealt with a lot, like, mentally after I had him. I did a whole video talking about my struggles after I had him. So if you want to check that out, but I didn't have postpartum depression with him because I had highs and lows. So postpartum depression, you're always low, but I had extreme baby blues because I'd have these highs, you know, I'd be so happy, and then I'd have a big switch in my emotions and I'd be bawling. I was in a lot of pain with him, like a lot of pain. And I don't know exactly what it was from. It could have been from I had like a complication with my bladder. So it could have been from that. It could have been from when I was pushing for him. It could have been just the trauma of having an emergency C-section. It was just like a lot with him. And I think also I struggled because it was a failed VBAC, and I hate that word to describe it because it just makes you feel so like worthless. Like, failed VBAC sounds so horrible. And I remember thinking like, I won't be that person. And then there I was. And I think it's because we as women long for that feeling of having a baby that way, like naturally, you know? And I've just realized after having 3 kids in ways that I never thought would be me. My mom had very smooth labors, like super smooth. And so I always thought, okay, well, that'll be me. So just having like such unpredictable labors and just not the easiest made me really kind of grieve. I felt like, what the heck? Like, why can't I do that, you know? And especially after I had the girls, I was like so confident. I have twins, I can do anything. And then that's how I felt going into having Owen. I was just so confident, like, I'm gonna do this. And my doctor was so like with me, and just like we were so excited. And then my body went into labor naturally. Like I got to get off the Pitocin because my body was doing it itself. And it was just like such a happy moment. And like my mom was so excited. Andrew, my doctor, was like, oh my gosh, like your body's doing it. Like he's coming. And I was at a 10 with him. Like I was pushing to get him out and he was not coming out. And that's when our heart rates were dropping, both him and me. And I remember just being so scared in that moment, like just so scared, like not expecting it. Whenever I talk about Owen's birth, I get so emotional. It was really scary. And I remember looking at Andrew and I was like, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this again. I remember just saying to the doctor, like, just get him out, just get him out. Like, it was just very traumatic. And then after like having the bladder issue, and I was just, I was taking my pain meds wrong. So I was like in so much pain. And then with the girls, like I couldn't take care of them. I couldn't hold them or do anything. They didn't understand. So like, I don't know what I would have done if it weren't for Andrew to help with me, and both my mom and Andrew's mom to help out, because I just felt so like hopeless. Like I can't do anything here. Like what in the world? And it just felt very dark and low after having him, which is just like so upsetting, because once you have a baby, you know, everybody's like texting you like, how's the baby? Like, oh my gosh, so excited for you and everything. And nobody really like asks about the mom. And so now I really try, if I have a friend having a baby, like ask how the mom is doing, because it's like so baby focused, which obviously you want to know how the baby is. Like it's such a blessing. But at the same time, I think moms get like so neglected after they have babies. You have one appointment after you have your child, and then it's like, okay, bye. And I remember, I talked about this in that postpartum video, but I remember being at the doctor. It wasn't with my normal doctor. It was with like a random doctor, which sucked. But I remember going into that appointment and I still have my catheter in, and I was in, so I'm like literally in the hospital, not hospital, the doctor's office with like my catheter bag hanging down out of my dress, and it was just like, oh my gosh. And I go to see her, and I just remember sitting there telling myself, hold your tears in, like don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. And now looking back, I wish I would have just been like telling myself like, cry, like let her know you don't feel okay. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm crying right now. I think I just like, you know, you want to be tough after you have a baby. You want to feel like pulled together. You look on freaking Instagram and everybody like has a baby and they're just like, hey, look at me, back to normal. And it's like, no, you don't go back to normal. Like it's so much. And that's why I'm really trying to get Andrew to get they're trying to do like a women's health clinic for physical therapy. So after you have a baby, you go see a physical therapist to help like get your body back to normal, because like that, I just truly think that should be a requirement for all moms, because your muscles are all messed up. Like there's so much going on. And so, that was a really hard time, but like looking back now, and like, I'm fine now. It just makes you like think like people go through so much, like there's so much that moms go through for birth and for their little ones. And I've just had so many friends who've had crazy things happen in the hospital for their births, and you don't hear about it that much. And it's a shame, because I think people need to talk about this stuff more, because the problem with not talking about it is when it is you in the hospital and something does happen, you feel like, why me? And like, why they all have these perfect births. But the thing is, like, it's not like they're all having perfect births. It's just that they're not showing all of that, you know? So that's why I felt like after I had Owen, I'm just gonna piece through my hair right now. Like now I think maybe it was because like I can share this with you guys now. And if I can make one of you feel a little bit more like it's okay, like you'll be okay. then like I feel like I did my job. And I think too, like having twins, you know, it's like a way to connect with you guys. Oh my God. I did not think we would talk about this. I thought we'd talk about like doing our hair and makeup, but if I can make one of you guys feel better and not alone, you know, like, then I'm happy. I think we should change the topic to something happy. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm gonna just go through and find like random spots that aren't curled, and then I'm gonna add some product in and I'll show you where I straighten it. Okay, what can we talk about now? If you guys didn't watch my video I did doing my makeup, watch that one because I talk about what each child has taught me. And when I mention Noah and I say that he's turned me into a big thing of mush, like honestly, it's crazy. Okay, some people ask like when to know to have another baby. Ooh, let's talk about this. And also just like, okay, I'll just start talking about it. But so we knew after the girls, we wanted them to be like 2 to 3 years in age difference between our next baby. So we just kind of planned it around the calendar. So we looked at the calendar and we're like, okay, so if we get pregnant here, then they will be this far in age. Another thing we decided was we did not want their birthday near the holidays. My battery's dying. So it kind of gave us like a window of, also like sometimes I don't spend this long on my hair, but just since we're talking, I'm kind of like going all out with it. See how this is like curly right at the end? I take my straightener and I just straighten the very ends, so it gives it that beachy look just all throughout it. So we kind of had like a window. So we said we'd try to get pregnant these few months, and then if we didn't get pregnant, then we would wait like a few more months so we were out of that little pocket of having a birthday during the holidays, because we really do not like having their birthday by Christmas. Like it really stinks. Also guys, I'm gonna tease my hair. This is, I get this on Amazon. There's a bunch of different types. I always tease the top. And then the product that I use on dry hair, the Light Elements Texturizing Cream. It's like a soft styling cream. I just do a little bit and I just scrunch it in my hair. My main tip for curling your hair is to mess up the curls, because that's what gives you that natural look. But what was I saying? Oh, we knew we wanted a third, so it was just kind of figuring out like the timing. The thing we didn't know was if we would have a fourth, and I am done. I think 3 is perfect for us. I like the number we're at. I don't want to stretch myself too thin. I've talked about this a lot before, but we're pretty much at terms with our family right now, and I like that. And this falls over time, and I like this part being a little smoother. And then I always take this chunk up here and tease it, just to give it a little extra volume right there. I feel like I should do a few more questions because that one took up quite a lot of time. How did I decide what twin got what name? That's kind of cool. So if you have twins, they label them baby A and baby B when you're pregnant. And so baby B always moved around a lot. And we knew we liked June and Violet for the names. And I just felt like June seemed like a more active name than Violet. Violet seemed like, okay, baby A is Violet, baby B, like baby B, which was June, was just always moving. I was like, that just feels like June. So that's what we did. So when they were born, or like when I was pregnant, they would monitor where both babies were. And so when they were taking them out, which sounds so funny, you know, it was like, here comes baby A, and that was Violet. And they asked for the name like right away. And so I was like, that's Violet. And I just always knew where they were. Like I always knew baby A was over here, baby B over here. So that's kind of what I did. Also, these pieces, I like to straighten the ends as well. I'm actually getting my hair cut soon. Not like cut, just I'm keeping the length, but I want her to relayer it because I cut these myself and did a really bad job. So I just want some long layers so it almost makes my hair look longer. I think it'll look a lot better. But see how it just gives you that piecey look? It's like a nice wave. Yes, it's a long process. which is another reason why I want to grow my hair out, because then I can let it air dry and it kind of does this itself. But when it's short, it doesn't. But yeah, that is all done right there. Sometimes I do a little oil instead of the paste, but I like both. Ooh, what do you and Andrew argue about the most? I'm trying to think of like what, we don't really fight that much. I mean, we used to fight, like before we had kids, we fought more actually. And that was because we'd fight about, like I'd get annoyed that he'd be hanging out with his friends all the time. In my perfect world, it would just be me, Andrew, and our kids all the time. Like I always want to hang out with him all the time, and he needs to see his friends a lot. Like he's very social. So I've realized over time, oh, my chopsticks are there, like to let him do that because he comes back very happy. He's like a happy guy when he sees his friends. So that was always our fight, was like, oh my gosh, like, can you just hang out with me? But now, yeah, we don't fight that often about anything like big. Habits I wish I had was to be cleaner. It's funny because I'm Enneagram 1, but I'm pretty messy. Like I just have things I want to do, and cleaning little things isn't on my list. I am more like scheduled to clean rather than keep tidy as I go. What show did you recently binge? So we're watching that show, Ted, what's it called? I forgot what it's called. The one with Jason Sudeikis is on Apple TV. It's super good, and we didn't watch it last night, but I missed it. I really want to watch it again. But we usually just watch like HGTV and just kind of like talk at night. A lot of the times Andrew doesn't even want to watch TV, so we'll just like piddle around on our computer or something and like talk about our backyard plans. A couple people asked if I still feel mom guilt. Not as much actually. I felt it more when like our kids are in the newborn stage. I would feel mom guilt. Like if I was nursing and I would have to go somewhere, you feel very tied to them because you're like providing their food, you know? But I feel like as they get older and more independent, you start to feel that less and less. And also starting Pilates was like a huge deal for me because I feel like, this is gonna sound dumb, but I felt like, oh, that's selfish to take a workout class. Like I need to be at home with kids. And that's just like so in my head. Like I am such a person that I need to do everything and I can do it all myself. And Andrew was like, you need to get out of the house, like go do something. Cause I always would say, I'll just work out with kids, and it never would work out. And so I joined a Pilates class, and it's been the best thing ever for me, like for myself, just mentally, because it gives me an hour to be out of the house and exercising with other women, and it's like fun and it's motivating, and it is just something that's purely for me. And I just never thought, I did it more just for my core strength, as I was super weak there, and that's obviously improved a ton, but I've just gained a lot besides physical stuff. Like it's just been very good for me to do that. Okay, let's just end on, yeah, mom body. So somebody said they had a C-section, they have the pooch. So what I always say is first, give yourself grace. Do not be hard on your body for a while. Like give yourself, I always give myself a year, and that's kind of a long time. I started doing little workouts 6 months after having Owen, but I was always nervous about my C-section scar and like messing with it. And Andrew was always like reassuring me, saying, it's okay, you can do light stuff on it. But part of me was just always nervous about the scar. So I started running with the girls. Like I'd push them in a stroller and I would run with them at a year postpartum. And then I did that like all the time. And then once I got pregnant, I stopped. And then after I had him, I started running probably a year as well. And then I started doing Pilates a couple months ago. And the reason you want to do cardio though, like so Pilates is more toning, but running is great for tightening the skin. So if you have loose skin, and I still have, I'll show you guys. I still have some of it, but it's like way better. So, and I don't have the bloat anymore just from diet stuff. But so like if you go like that, I mean, I have some of that loose skin still. But as far as toning, like I have my abs back. My stomach is flatter now. I don't have that pooch anymore. And so yes, like running helps with the skin, but Pilates helps with tightening it all back. I think, well, I was super bloated. So I did have that pooch, and it felt like I was pregnant for a long time. So I think diet was a huge thing, that taking out certain foods that cause bloat. So broccoli, cauliflower, almonds, there's a bunch of like random things that I cut out. That helped significantly, but also I do think that in combination with Pilates just kind of helped like lace up my ab area. Like it's much tighter now. So, okay, this was an emotional roller coaster today. I hope you guys enjoyed this. This is how I do my hair, and then this will last you for a while. Like tomorrow, probably won't do anything. If I do anything, I just take a couple sections up, pour a little dry shampoo in there, go like that, and then you're good to go. So I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today, and I will see you guys all very soon. Bye.